There is a point at which specification sheets stop feeling theoretical and start feeling disruptive. A full-size electric sedan measuring 5.15 meters in length, offering dual-motor all-wheel drive output of approximately 644 horsepower, capable of adding roughly 400 kilometers of range in 5 minutes on compatible hardware, and launching in its home market at the equivalent of under $30,000. That vehicle is the BYD Seal 08 EVE. It arrived in China in early July 2026 as the flagship of BYD's Ocean series. It is not a limited-run concept or a low-volume halo. It is a production car built on an 800-volt architecture, using second-generation Blade LFP batteries, equipped with rear-wheel steering, dual-chamber air suspension, and a LiDAR-based driver assistance system as standard. The rest of the premium electric market now has to confront those numbers with clear eyes. This is eviondrive. We examine luxury and premium Chinese electric vehicles with precision, balance, and complete honesty. Strengths are stated clearly. Limitations are never softened. Design language and proportions. The Seal 08 follows BYD's Ocean Aesthetics 2.0 language, developed under the design leadership of Wolfgang Egger. The front end is closed and sculpted, with slender lighting signatures that incorporate woven base details. The silhouette is a clean fastback, long and purposeful, without the exaggerated creases or aggressive character lines that often appear on performance-oriented Chinese EVs. Two-tone paint is available on higher trims, adding visual depth without resorting to loud contrast. Dimensions place it firmly in the full-size E segment, 5,150mm long, 1999mm wide, 1505mm high, and a 3030mm wheelbase. That wheelbase is longer than a Tesla Model S and competitive with a Mercedes X or BMW i7. The result is generous rear seat space and a cabin that feels substantial rather than merely large. The exterior design prioritizes presence and proportion over theatrical drama. It looks expensive without trying to look expensive. If detailed, balanced analysis of Chinese premium electric vehicles is useful to you, a quiet subscribe helps this channel continue producing work of this standard. Thank you. Interior, materials, comfort, and systems. Step inside and the ambition becomes clearer. Soft touch surfaces cover nearly every visible area. Higher trims use Napa-style leather. A continuous mother-of-pearl ambient lighting strip runs from the dashboard through the doors, creating a refined, low-key glow rather than a nightclub effect. All glass is double-glazed for acoustic isolation. The technology layout is modern but restrained. A 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, a 15.6-inch floating central touchscreen, and a large 26-inch augmented reality head-up display. The center console houses dual, actively cooled 50-watt wireless charging pads and a refrigerated compartment capable of holding 6 standard beverage cans, with cooling and heating functions. Seating is a clear highlight. Front seats offer one-touch zero-gravity recline, heating, ventilation, multi-point massage, and power-adjustable leg rests. Outboard rear seats receive the same treatment, plus airline-style tray tables mounted to the front seat backs and a touchscreen in the fold-down center armrest for climate, media, and seat controls. A split dual-pane panoramic roof with individual sunshades is available. Storage is extensive, roughly 40 separate compartments throughout the cabin, and the pure electric versions include a powered 160-liter frunk. Audio is handled by a 20-speaker Devialet system. The sound signature is refined and spacious rather than bass-heavy. Materials quality, fit, and finish sit at a level that would have been surprising from a Chinese volume brand only a few years ago. It is not yet at the absolute tactile peak of a top-tier Mercedes or BMW, but the gap has narrowed dramatically. Powertrain, battery, and performance reality. The pure electric Seal 08 rides on BYD's 800-volt Super E platform and uses second-generation Blade lithium iron phosphate batteries in 2 capacities, 76.744 kilowatt per hour and 92.093 kilowatt per hour. Rear-wheel drive models deliver either 255 kilowatt or 320 kilowatt, The dual-motor all-wheel drive flagship combines a front motor of roughly 195 kilowatt with a rear motor of 320 kilowatt for a combined system output of 510 kilowatt. Sources list figures between 634 and 684 horsepower. Peak torque for the odd version is quoted near 810 Nm. Acceleration from 0 to 100 km/h is claimed at 3.3 seconds for the top model. Top speed is limited between 240 and 270 km/h depending on variant. The electric motors are BYD's own high-efficiency units. The second-generation blade cells prioritize structural integrity, thermal stability, and cost control. Energy density is not the highest available in the industry, but safety characteristics and cycle life remain strong arguments for the chemistry. Plug-in hybrid versions are also offered, using a 1.5-liter turbocharged petrol engine dedicated to hybrid duty combined with 1 or 2 electric motors. Electric-only range on the Chinese cycle reaches up to 400 km, with combined range claimed at 1660 km. These are relevant for markets where pure electric infrastructure remains incomplete, but the focus of this examination remains the pure electric models. Range claims versus real-world expectation. Official CLTC range figures reach 905 km on the long-range rear-drive model with the 92.1 kWh battery and 785 km on the odd version. These are Chinese test cycle numbers and must be treated as such. In real-world mixed driving, particularly at sustained highway speeds, or in colder climates, expect a meaningful reduction. A realistic European or North American mixed driving figure for the larger pack is likely in the 550–650 km range under favorable conditions. That remains competitive with current European and American full-size EVs, but it is not the absolute number published in China. Energy consumption under Chinese testing sits in the low to mid-teens of kilowatt per hour per 100 km. Efficiency benefits from the fastback shape, LFP chemistry, and structural battery integration. Chassis, suspension, and handling character. Chassis hardware is unusually comprehensive for the price point. Rear-wheel steering is standard and reduces the turning radius to 4.95 meters class, leading for a vehicle of this length. Higher trims receive BYD's DiSus-A dual-chamber air suspension with LiDAR-based road preview. The system can adjust damping and ride height proactively, aiming to balance comfort with body control and to reduce motion sickness. The result should be a large sedan that feels more agile and composed than its dimensions suggest. Absolute steering feel and ultimate handling precision will not match a Porsche Taycan. The Seal 08 is engineered first for composure and comfort under high power rather than for track-focused engagement. Driver assistance and safety systems. Every Seal 08 carries BYD's God's Eye B system with a roof-mounted LiDAR sensor as standard. It supports city and highway navigation on autopilot functions and automatic emergency braking that remains active up to 150 km/h. In China, BYD has offered limited first-year coverage for certain assisted driving and automated parking incidents. Hardware ambition is high. Real-world consistency, edge case behavior, and long-term software maturity will require independent verification over time, the same requirement that applies to every current generation manufacturer system. Comparison with European and American/Canadian benchmarks. Place the Seal 08 EVE against current European and North American references, and the value discontinuity becomes stark. On the European side, the latest Mercedes-Benz X offers outstanding acoustic isolation, rear seat lounge capability, and WLTP ranges that can exceed 800 km in the most efficient variants, now with 800-volt architecture and peak charging near 350 kilowatt. Pricing starts well above $100,000. The BMW i7 prioritizes rear seat theater, material richness, and composed ride quality, with power outputs in the 500–650+ HP region depending on variant. The Porsche Taycan remains the driver's chassis reference and offers strong 800-volt charging behavior, yet range is more modest, and list prices sit at or above the same elevated level. On the American and Canadian side, the Tesla Model S continues to deliver strong real-world range. the most mature high-power charging network, and extreme performance in its highest form. The Lucid Air currently sets the efficiency and claimed range benchmark among production luxury EVs, with an elegant cabin and 800-volt architecture. Both sit at significantly higher price points and, in Lucid's case, still face thinner service coverage. In pure specification density power, claimed range potential, flash charging capability, rear-wheel steering, dual-chamber air suspension, LiDAR ADAS, Devialet audio, and zero-gravity seating, the Seal 08 undercuts these cars dramatically in its home market. Even after transport, tariffs, and local specification changes, the landed price gap in Europe or North America is likely to remain large. The established brands retain clear advantages in residual value certainty, software polish, ecosystem maturity, and the density of high-power charging stations that can fully exploit 5-minute capability. The Seal 08 does not erase those advantages. It simply makes the cost of entry for comparable capability far more transparent. Hybrid and SUV/MPV alternatives follow similar patterns: higher pricing for established brands, denser equipment, and lower cost of entry from Chinese competitors. Is this the best Chinese sedan? Best depends on the criteria applied. On pure value and technology density at the price point, the Seal 08 currently ranks among the strongest full-size electric sedans China has produced. It combines size, power, battery technology, chassis hardware, and equipment levels previously reserved for higher price brackets. Against other Chinese premium offerings, the picture is more nuanced. NIO's higher-positioned models emphasize battery as a service, premium service centers, and a different ownership experience. Zeekr models often prioritize design flair and performance variants. Xiaomi's SU7 family, especially higher ultra derivatives, leans into acceleration figures, ecosystem integration, and performance credentials. The Seal 08's advantages are scale, vertical integration, aggressive pricing, and the maturity of its blade battery and e-platform work. Relative weaknesses shared with many volume Chinese brands remain brand prestige outside Asia, residual values that are still being established, and the need for software and ADAS behavior to prove consistent across years and markets. It is not automatically the best in absolute refinement, exclusivity, or brand cachet. It is an exceptionally strong capability and value proposition that raises the floor for the entire segment. Service infrastructure reality check. In a European market such as Germany or the Netherlands, the near-term picture looks like this. BYD continues expanding its points of sale and has publicly discussed plans for thousands of flash charging stations across Europe. Local assembly at the Hungarian plant reduces tariff exposure for certain models and improves parts logistics. Owners would use a mix of public high-power CCS chargers, growing BYD or partner flash stations where available, and home wallbox charging. Service would occur at expanding authorized centers with trained technicians and regional parts warehouses, aiming for high first fill rates. The experience will not yet match the density of a Mercedes or BMW network, but the trajectory is toward closer parity within a few years. In the United States or Canada, the picture is more constrained by policy and scale. Chinese connected vehicles face regulatory hurdles in the US. Canada has adjusted tariffs, and BYD has signaled market entry with initial models. Service would begin at a limited number of experience centers and authorized partners in major cities, with parts support building over time. Flash charging infrastructure would lag further. Early adopters must accept a less mature support ecosystem than the established luxury brands currently provide. Pricing, context, and ownership. In China, the pure electric range starts at 196,900 RMB for the 775 km Premium, rises to 216,900 RMB for the 905 km Flagship, and reaches 239,900 RMB for the Odd Flagship. Plug-in hybrid variants start at the same entry price. These are pre-tax Chinese market figures. Export pricing will be higher after transport, tariffs, homologation, and local content. Even so, the gap versus current European and American full-size luxury EVs is expected to remain substantial. Battery charging times, restated clearly, Under ideal flash charging conditions, the published claim is approximately 400 km of range in 5 minutes. On conventional public DC chargers, the times lengthen in line with available power and battery thermal management. Home AC charging follows standard Type 2 rates, depending on the onboard charger capacity. Honest verdict and closing. The 2026 BYD Seal 08 EVE is a significant product. It demonstrates what vertical integration, manufacturing scale, and focused engineering can deliver in a full-size electric sedan at a price that forces competitors to justify their premiums more carefully. Its strengths are genuine: packaging, power delivery, second-generation blade battery technology, chassis hardware density, and equipment levels. Its limitations are equally real: optimistic official range figures that require translation into real-world numbers, dependence on still developing flash charging networks outside China, software and brand maturity that continue to evolve, and service density that trails the established luxury players today. It does not make every European or American luxury EV obsolete. It does make the value equation more transparent. For buyers who prioritize space, equipment, performance, and cost of entry, and who can accept the current state of the support ecosystem, the Seal 08 is one of the most compelling full-size electric sedans available in its home market, and a clear signal of the direction the industry is heading. This has been eviondrive. We will continue to examine these vehicles with the same balanced strengths, weaknesses, and the engineering reality between the numbers. Thank you for watching.